Welcome to today's edition of The Streak. The month of March is another opportunity to celebrate womanhood and women's achievements worldwide. The celebrations are unfolding at a time when bias, stereotypes, and discrimination on and towards women are widespread. No doubt, this year's International Day or this year's International Women's Day is focusing on a world that is bias-free, equitable, inclusive, where women's achievements are made visible. In today's program, we have identified one woman whose work we will spotlight in no distant time. She is the winner of the Digital Changemaker Award and one of the top 50 rising voices in 2022 according to the World Pulse ranking. Nain Mirabel Yuh talks to the Streak. Mirabel, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
What are you most passionate about in life?
I am most passionate about touching lives.
You are one of the women using technology to improve the livelihood of vulnerable groups in the communities. Can you just talk us through your work generally?
Okay. So first of all, I cannot cease thanking World Pulse for this opportunity to showcase my work globally. First of all, World Pulse is a social network that connects women globally for change, and it gives women the opportunity to showcase their work, to use their stories to uplift others, and to also encourage others. That is why we had 3 categories recognized during this year's award. We had the category of storytelling, the category of Changemakers, and the category of Spirit Awards. So, and I'm happy to have been awarded as one of the digital Changemakers who are using their initiative to touch lives in their community. So generally, my work involves promoting the respect of rights of people with disability and meeting their needs through innovation and best practices. So my team and I at eBase had developed an innovative toolkit. We call it FSET, the eBase Family Centered Evidence Toolkit for Disability, that brings research into the households and communities of people with disability through community health workers. We're bringing research evidence into households and communities of people with disability because we want families to be able to engage with their children with disability with evidence-based recommendation to elicit the respect of their rights and their needs. This initiative was born out of curiosity on how we can do things differently and better or efficiently, and also born out of lessons we at eBase have learned from getting research into practice. That's GRIP, G-R-I-P. So we are now doing GRIP, G-R-I-H, getting research into households. So this was where all our inspiration was stemming from, to develop this innovative toolkit to have people who are left behind the evidence-based practice train get involved on the train.
Now, like I asked, you're one of those who's using technology to be able to bring out innovations that impact the lives of people, or like, let me call them vulnerable groups in the community. How easy was it for you to get into the tech world?
Okay, first of all, I don't consider myself a tech woman. I think I am more of a researcher than a techie. However, the work that we do at eBase involves a lot of software and technology. For example, most of the technologies that we use include Max app for recording qualitative interviews, Dropbox for storing and transcribing files, Max QDA for coding the transcripts, MacPy for developing the toolkit, Google Maps for geotagging, WhatsApp for collecting qualitative data, emails for communicating. So when I first joined eBase in 2019, this was very challenging for me. Until one time, my boss was frustrated and he called me and he said that I was tech in bed. So this really got to me because he would tell me one thing and before I get to my desk, I have forgotten it. So this was this got me, and it also motivated me, because I said to myself, I'm not tech impaired. I just need a little time to get comfortable around these technologies. And today I'm happy because I can easily navigate around all these technologies, and I can even train others to be able to use it for innovative work. Yeah, so the journey wasn't easy, but yeah, so here we are.
Okay. Now, one can actually say that you're a typical Cameroonian success at this point in time. Now, what message do you have for people out there who are now looking up to you as a digital change maker and also as a role model?
I think what I can tell people out there is that your dreams are valid. Everyone's dream is valid. You just need to give yourself some time to learn and develop it. One person once said, you die when you stop learning. So I would encourage people out there to give themselves the opportunity to continue learning as long as they are alive. Yeah.
Now, we are on the eve of the International Women's Day. I just want to find out from you, this year's focus is on a bias-free world where value or where diversity and difference is valued and celebrated. To you, what does it take to be able to have a world where there's no bias towards women, where there is no discrimination, or where there are no stereotypes? How can we get to such a world?
Okay, so I think that this year's theme actually aligns with my vision of a world where no one is left behind, especially in the evidence-based practice training, because I believe that it is in our hands to build the Africa we want that leaves no one behind. So what does it take to have this working? I think you just need to be determined, yes, and give yourself time. Do not get discouraged by the challenges. It has not been an easy ride for me, working with community health workers, working with the team at eBase, working with people with disability. I also like to take this opportunity to appreciate all these teams that I've been working with, starting with the families and the children with disability that we work with in the communities. They are so welcoming, they are happy to engage in the innovation that we bring to them, to their family. And this is something that really motivates the work that we do, because sometimes you have an initiative but you don't know how it's going to be accepted in your community. But these people have made work, though it is challenging, sometimes work is challenging, working with vulnerable people, but the rewards are profound. So, and working with technology and things like that, it's not an easy ride, but as time unfolds, I'm happy that I can easily navigate through all these technologies. So if you give yourself time, be determined. It takes courage for your voice to be heard and for your work, or for your work to be noticed.
Okay, now today, being awarded as a digital change maker, what does that actually mean? And can you tell us what it took you to be able to reach there? Because when I was checking the World Pulse website, I noticed that you are one out of the top 50. And it has even scaled down to the top 12. And you're still there. How did it take you to get to such a level?
I think that they found my innovation quite interesting, because they did the nominations and the judges, they have their independent criteria for judging, and this brought it down to top 12. So I am one of the 12 women to watch out in 2022 according to World Pulse. And I am also one of the 3 outstanding people that are using their innovation to enact change in their community. So this is really important for me, because I feel that they say if you want to go global, start locally. Yeah. So this innovation born out of the local community, I'm really happy that it's being recognized at the global scene. It just took consistency. And I also like to appreciate the Waka Foundation. We got some funding from them, which helped to the Waka Foundation in Holland. So we got some funding from them, which was able to to support us in building this innovation. Yeah.
Now you see protons. What is the innovation? What problem is this innovation coming to resolve in a community? Let's say in Bamenda.
Okay. So Bamenda, I grew up in Bamenda, but specifically from Kom. And my community is one which is known for growing up back then, let me say, characterized by a lot of marginalization, characterized by situations where decisions are made for people and not with them. For the underserved population, by underserved population I'm talking about children, women, people living with disability. So all this contributed to making the rights of vulnerable persons and their needs not to be respected and met respectively. So this initiative is born with the intention to eliminate stigma and include people with disability in decisions that will affect them and interventions that are designed for them. This is because when I joined eBase, we had realized through research that most of them are left behind because their voices are not included. Programs are designed for them, decisions are made for them. So in this our innovative toolkit, we included their voice through formative study. For example, we had sat with them in a gathering through formative study to ask them questions, run them through the current practices in the community and what it would take for them to say that this intervention works and things like that. So most of the recommendations in the toolkit are based on the recommendations given by the families of people with disability in Bamenda. So from there, we now did an evidence search and synthesis from all renowned evidence databases like Campbell, Cochrane, EEF, 3IE, and WHO, and others. So we ran a search and got research evidence to now match it with the current practices in the community. So we now built it like that in the toolkit and also have clauses for contributing to sustainable development goals. And we now train 5 community health workers. We brought in the aspect of community health workers to be able to integrate and leverage in the health sector. The idea is that community health workers should have the opportunity to explore aspects of disability during their regular home visits that they do from time to time in the community. So the community health workers take this toolkit to the households during their household visits and ask them a series of questions. So what they do is that they audit household practices with guide from this toolkit and give the families evidence-based recommendation. For example, you need to have a disability card for your kid, for your child with disability. They need to attend school effectively. You need to assist them. Talk about health to them. Talk about the health challenges. Talk about COVID-19. Talk about sexual and reproductive health rights to your kids. Talk about menstruation. Also be able to join empowerment sectors like joining the PTA, joining community health, where you can raise up your voice for issues concerning your child, and also be able to have a source of income that you can support the needs of your child with disability, so that they will be informed of their rights. They'll be able to know that this is, I can make an effort, I can contribute to the decisions that are affecting me and my child. So we are doing this at household and community level because we strongly believe that change that happens in the household can easily radiate to the community and to the country, why not the world at large. So this is one thing that is really important to me because it's a tool to enact change in the community. So that's how the toolkit works.
Now, after this, being nominated or being awarded as a change maker, how are you going to sustain the title over time?
The title is not something that we struggle to get, but it's coming at a time where we are still working. So sustaining this title just means that you need to keep doing more. One time someone said that it becomes more difficult when you start pleasing someone because you're expected to keep pleasing them. your life is much more easy when you have not yet reached that place where you have made someone happy. Because when you reach that level, you need to sustain it. Yeah. So it's just to continue the work. Right now, what we are doing is that we are developing the manuscript to publish the results from the work that we have been doing. It was a pilot. So we now want to publish the results. We're hoping that we can get more funding to do a trial.
And what then is the streak? We are saying that these problems in our community can have solutions if we just look into them, just like Mirabel has done. You too can do it out there and give our community the kind of development that we are all envisaging to make our communities inclusive and equitable for living to everyone. That's the streak. Thank you for being part of today's edition of the program. We'll do join you some other time when we can. And until then, bye-bye.